another one in the same subject here, a little bit of a clarification, deeper dive into this topic. So multiple different cardinals are calling for ICE to be shut down. Leftist cardinals Cupich and Tobin are quick to speak out on immigration, but are silent in upholding church doctrine. Let's take a look at this. This is from LifeSite News. Cardinals Tobin, Cupich, and other bishops sound off about Minnesota while ignoring doctrinal abuses. So they're saying they're basically supporting the craziness that's going on in Minnesota. Keep that in mind here. These are Roman Catholic cardinals that are saying the riots that are going on in Minnesota, you know, the ones where the ICE officers get their fingers bitten off, the ones where people are being attacked in the street, the ones where people who aren't even ICE officers are being jumped in the street. Woohoo! These are all great. We love that you're doing this. They're calling out in support of this. They're saying ICE shouldn't even be there. They should be defunded. Keep the illegals there. You know what? Violence is fine as long as it's on the right side. You know what I'm saying? As long as you are undermining Trump, you know what I'm saying? As long as you are undermining the things that threaten our human trafficking operation, it's fine. No big deal. Pro-Skittles prelates have shown their willingness to take sides politically on social justice issues, particularly with the Minnesota unrest. So you have Cupich and Tobin, Nighty-Night Tobin, and Cupich here, pro-Skittles prelates, pro-Skittle, think about that for a second, pro-Skittles cardinals. These are hierarchs in the Roman Catholic Church, about as high up as you can get without being the Pope himself. And they're openly pro-Skittles. Tobin is well known for what I just showed you. Nighty-night, sweetie, I love you, to a male Italian actor. And he's still in his position. And yet Pine Sap wants to say, oh, no, that's not the case. We don't have any openly Skittles clergy. We don't have any openly Skittles people in seminaries. You guys are just lying, dude. This is ridiculous at this point. Anyway, LifeSite News. A growing number of clergy are weighing in on what is taking place in Minnesota. If only they were as concerned with upholding the purity of church doctrine as they are with commenting on current events, the church wouldn't be in the mess that it is. I completely agree. Earlier this month, New Jersey Cardinal Joseph Tobin added his name to a joint letter along with pro-Skittles cardinals Blaise Cupich, Robert McElroy. Among other things, they denounced President Donald Trump for cutting funds for overseas programs. Okay, cutting funds. This was the USAID scam, where the Roman Catholic Church was taking a bunch of money from USAID to import illegal immigrants. Okay, they're still getting funding from other sources, but this was specifically USAID we're talking about under the DOGE program. They found out that Catholic Charities, that the USCCB, that several of these organizations were receiving tons of funding, basically for importing migrants. This is what they were making money off of, while complaining that the U.S. was failing to provide moral leadership across the world. Like other social justice clergy, Tobit has focused his rage on the situation in Minnesota in recent days. During an online interreligious prayer event Monday titled National Faith Call to Action, Tobit urged his listeners to say no to what is taking place in the state. One way that we say no is that we mourn. We do not celebrate death, and that what is probably worse, we don't pretend it doesn't happen. We mourn for a world, a country that allows 5-year-olds to be legally kidnapped and protesters to be slaughtered. Yet that's exactly what you're freaking doing. That's what you're supporting, a massive human trafficking operation. But they're saying that the ICE agents bringing the 5-year-old safely into custody because the parents were being arrested and then taking care of the kid, that's somehow evil. But being engaged in a massive human trafficking operation isn't. They don't care. These people are evil. Tobin was referencing the case of Liam Ramos, a boy who was recently placed in a detention center along with his father, an Ecuadorian man who, according to ABC News, has a pending asylum case against him. Contrary to Tobin's claim, Ramos was not kidnapped. On January 20th, ICE conducted a targeted operation to address Adrian, so on and so forth, an illegal alien from Ecuador. You get the point. I don't need to dive into this any deeper. You get the point. I'm sure everybody's familiar with this case by now. All the leftists were crashing out about it. But this is what the Cardinals are supporting. They're saying they're supporting the liberals that are rioting against ICE. They're supporting Minnesota. They really, really, really don't want the United States to push back on this, because they know the more they push back, the less funding the Roman Catholic Church is going to get through programs like Catholic Charities and the USCCB. Now, I've pulled this up on the previous stream, but I'll go ahead and do this again now in case there's anybody new watching here. But the USCCB gets paid to import migrants into the United States. They say it on their mission statement page. This is their goal, to receive maximum funding to import the maximum amount of illegal immigrants. Or I guess in that case, they would be refugees. USCCB remigration, or no, not remigration, migration, refugee, that's what it is. Refugee resettlement. Let me pull this up and I'll share my screen. This is from the USCCB website. Funding, financing it. Hold on. Funding, there you go. Funding the refugee program. Share this page instead. Boom, here you go. USCCB position. This is their mission statement. USCCB engages with the federal appropriations process to obtain the maximum amount of funding needed to support the U.S. refugee program, which provides both overseas assistance and resettlement services to refugees. Each year, the USCCB advocates for funding levels that maximize the number of refugees assisted overseas and resettled into the United States. This is why they push back against this stuff so hard, because they make money resettling migrants into the United States. You're upset about the Minnesota thing? Well, guess what? All of those people were migrants. They're all refugees. They were all brought in on these type of grants through these NGOs, through the USCCB, through Catholic Charities, so on and so forth. So that's why they're pushing back on this stuff so much. That's why they really want to bring in more and more refugees, because they make money doing it. All right, this isn't some kind of mystery. This is what they state openly on their freaking website, dude.